Okay, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps on how to complete the activity called Managing Your Files module. So I'm going to go down to your Managing Your Files module in your Canvas shell, and you're going to see that you have an activity here called FM Module Directions. It says to complete all the pages found in the yellow section on pages FM1 through page 30. This means to read every page, and then we're going to complete all of the tan boxes that you find in those pages. In order to complete those tan boxes, there are some files that you must have in order to do that. So if you look at the bottom of page 1 in your Managing Files section, so again, I'm in that yellow colored section in your book. The very first page says Managing Your Files at the top. Down towards the bottom, it has the FM folder, and then it has the module folder. That's what we're going to be doing today. And underneath that folder is a list of files, one called budget, one called logo, one called, or 4 JPEGs and 4 RTFs. So if you've watched my how to navigate your data files, you have already downloaded them to your desktop in a folder, so you're ready to start. So we're going to go into that folder. We are going to go into FM for file management. We are going to go into the module because that's what we are completing today. And here are the files that we are going to be working with to create or to complete this module activity. So to get started, although I said that we're going to do all of the tan boxes, we're actually going to skip the first several, and we're going to start up on page 14. So again, in your books, yellow colored section, page 14. In the upper left-hand corner, it should say page FM 14. Down at the bottom, there's a tan box. At the top of the tan box, it says to open and edit the list file. And there are 3 steps underneath there to learn how to open and edit the list file. So here we go. Step 1 says to right-click the list file. So we're going to right-click the list file, and then says to go down and click Open With. Step 2 says click WordPad. You're going to notice that I do not have WordPad as an option. So I'm going to click on More Apps, and I'm going to cruise down in alphabetical order to the W's where I can locate the WordPad. I'm going to select WordPad, and I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And I now have opened the list file in WordPad. Step 3 says to press Control End. Control End will take your insertion point to the end of your document. It then says to press the Enter key and to add the words for period, include tool for customer comments, period. Okay, so that completes that tan box. We're now going to skip to our next tan box, which is on page 16. On page 16 at the top, it says we're going to learn how to save the list file with a new name. And you can see that there are 5 steps in order to learn how to complete that task. In step 1, in the WordPad window, click the file. Step 2, click Save As. Step 3, we're going to rename this file to be called Task List. Step 4, click the Save. Step 5, close out of the WordPad window. So what we've done is we've opened the file called List in WordPad. We've added a 4th step to that document, and we have renamed it Task List. Page 17 is where we're going to learn how to create folders. They are going to teach us 2 ways in order to create folders. The first way is by using the New Folder button. So at the bottom of page 17, there's a tan box, and at the top of the tan box, it says to create folders. Step 1. Actually, we don't need to worry about step 1. Step 2, click the Home tab. Step 3, in the New group, locate the button called New Folder. And notice that we now have a new folder and that we can name this folder what they tell us to on the next page. So I'm going to flip over to page 18. On step 4, it says type marketing graphics. Pressing the Enter key, so you have permanently now created a new folder called marketing graphics. That folder is being located in the module folder, in our file management folder, on in our Intro to Computers folder that's located on our desktop. Step 5, they're going to teach us a new way to learn how to create folders, and this is by using the right-click method. So on step 5, it says right-click a blank area. So I'm going to go down here to the bottom underneath all of my files, and I'm going to right-click. Point to New, and then click Folder. Step 6 says to type in the word Sites, pressing the Enter key. So we have permanently created another folder called Sites. Step 7 says to create another folder called Financial. I honestly don't care which method you choose, whether you go into the Home tab and click New Folder, or if you use the right-click New option, whichever you prefer. And we're going to create a new one called Financial. And then we're going to create one more folder called Website. So we now have created 4 folders that we are going to move or copy these files into those folders so they're easier to be organized and to access. Page 19. The top of page 19, there is a tan box. It says we're going to learn how to move a file by dragging it. Step 1, point to the budget file, and then press and hold down the left mouse button. While still pressing the mouse button down, drag the budget file to the financial folder. Step 3, release the mouse button to move that file into the financial folder. If I now double click the financial folder to open it, I can now see that I have moved that file called budget into that financial folder. I can then arrow back and I can see all of my files back again and those folders that we just got done creating. Page 20. Tan box says to move files using the clipboard. So we've learned how to move files using the drag method. We are now going to learn how to move files using the clipboard method. It says right-click the city guide file and then choose the option to cut. We're going to locate the Sites folder, and we're going to right-click on Sites, and we are going to paste that file into that folder. If I open up the Sites folder, you will notice that I have moved that file called City Guide. So you can either use the drag method or you can use the clipboard method. Whichever one you choose is fine. So I prefer the drag method. So on step 4, they ask us to locate the file called Trolley Tours, and we are going to move that file to the Sites folder. So because I like the drag method, I'm going to hold down my left mouse on Trolley Tours, and I'm going to drag it to the Sites folder so that I move that file into that folder. Bottom of page 21, they ask us to move some additional files. So they want us to move Task List to the Website folder. Okay, on page 10, they want us to now learn how, on page 22, on page 22, they now are asking us to learn how to copy files by using the clipboard method. So we are no longer moving files, we are now copying files. The major difference is that when you copy a file, the original stays in its original location, and then you create a copy to its new location. So you actually have 2 files, the original and then the copy. Okay. So on step 1, it tells us to display the contents of the module folder, which I am. On step 2, click the Edison file. Go to your keyboard and press and hold the Shift key. So I have the Shift key held down, and click the Trolley file. So what happened is I clicked on the first file, I held down Shift, I clicked on the last file. Everything in between there is now selected.